and we would get started. I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys had fun. Let me know. Let me see. Once in the chat box if you can see my screen and hear me clearly. Hear me clearly. I'm a bit pumped today because, I woke up and I saw a tag on Instagram. I saw a tag on Instagram and it was one of you guys in here saying one of the things he looks forward to on Mondays is market outlook. And I'm like, oh shit, what's good, bro? And bro just sent me a voice note and bro is like, he cannot even express his joy. He cannot even express his joy on how he has been able to get back on his feet trading just by watching the market outlooks. And I'm like, really? Like just by watching the market. And he's like, he's been trading for 4 years, but especially this year, coming on the charts is it's just been crazy. It's like, what do I need to look for? But all he just does is Mondays, he looks at the outlook, he watches the outlook, and he just takes that idea and runs with it. And I think I've said it a lot here that what we do here, if you just strictly go by it every single week, you have an 80% win rate. If you just strictly, sometimes I look back at it, I watch my videos a lot. So I look back at it, I'm like, just looking just here. I would see it again what happened last week and how it's playing out this week and all we've talked about this year. This year has been awesome, right? This year has been awesome in terms of delivery of price. In fact, it's been if you think about it and think about what conditions we're in, it's a very terrible condition in if you look at it in terms of overall broad market sphere. But we've had a great year. We've had a great year. We've had a great. If you've been here, if you followed through and you paid attention, you know that we've been doing something great here, which is very interesting. I bless God for that. Well, yeah. Let me see. It's good again that we're back here. And we're going to look at a lot of things, not a lot of things, a few things today, because the truth, I'm already going into it because I'm already talking. But again, let's give it another 2 minutes. Another 2 minutes. We're up. Somebody should let the where is Promise on this call? Promise, are you Collins?
No, I promise. Collins is Collins.
Okay, okay. It's weird. You can't see my screen.
Yes, but we can hear you clearly.
Oh, wow. Should be able to see my screen. Can you see my screen now? Can you see my,
No, we can't see us.
even
No,
now?
no, we can't see your screen now.
I can see your
Are you
screen.
sharing from the inner circle screen?
Yeah, my
I can see your screen.
Um,
yeah, you can see my
oh,
screen.
I can see your screen now. I can see your screen now.
Okay, 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 that works. That works. That works. Hi, Olaide. How are you doing? Benga, what's the vibes? Me having Benga had the session in the weekend. And as I was looking through price, this like I just came back from a worship session that I have. So I run a worship session once every month, right? I'm a church boy, not even just a church boy, a God boy. And I just came back from that this morning, like 7 a.m. I've not been able to sleep. I tried to sleep, but I did not sleep. So I came on the charts like 9:30. I'm like, okay, let me see what's happening. And the first one of the first things I did was to go to G because we're talking over the weekend, and it's like, bro, I'm buying this GU down here. And I'm like, I don't like the position. I don't, okay, this is GBPJ. I'm like, I don't like the position. But the one thing that I would say is, as far as we're at discounts, I can't say no to the position. And, I know I've screamed about that. And if I start again this morning, it's just going to be something else. Yeah, and he was buying somewhere here. And boom, look at all of that. That should be like, is that up to 100 pips? Or it's not up to, but very close, 68. Very good, boys. It's like math. I think we're just going to get started. 10 people. We're just going to get started. Every other person will join us. I hope you guys are fine. I hope you guys had a productive weekend. I think I did. I didn't go to the gym this weekend. And I'm I would resume back this week. But I think I had a productive weekend. I was able to do a bit of stuff. I was able to do a bit of work. And I hope you're able to do something too. All right, so coming into price action without wasting much time, where do we look at? Let's first talk about what you think is happening, right? I saw on the group chat, if you're following the Discord, if you're not following the Discord, somebody should drop the link so that everybody's on the Discord. You should be on the Discord, right? But what I started to see this morning, I saw, based on what we saw with price, well, let's look at price, yeah? DXY. Based on what you're seeing right now, it's like, oh, maybe there's some type of de-escalation, or maybe there's some type of peace, right? Because we know that if the peace comes in, inflation drops, that means yield is going to drop, or we're expecting yield to drop, oil is going to drop, inflation is going to drop, the Feds might be likely to cut rates, bearish dollar, right? That's the story. So, but the problem with this narrative is, if you jump at wanting to see sell side already just because of what you are seeing today, I'm sorry, you are wrong. I don't want to say you are wrong, but I'm sorry, you are viewing it in the wrong way. You're viewing it in the wrong way. And all you just need to do is go and check data. One of the things I say a lot is to understand what is, or to understand what is going to happen, you need to first understand what has been. You need to first be able to think and look back and say, how has it been working? And now play it here, especially with price. Like, it's a repeatable system, meaning that if you are going to understand what is happening now, you can look back at what these times have looked like and what we are to expect. All right. So the first thing I want to debunk is the fact that what is happening right now, this is not the first time it's happening. And just by understanding what we talk the most about in this channel, premium and discount, you can understand that. It's like when it's so elevated, we're not looking to buy, even though everything is saying buy now. And when I mean everything, I'm talking about fundamentals, because everybody right now is getting used to what the fundamental ideas are, right? We've talked about it a couple of times, and I started to see, just very recently after I started to talk about it, I saw, many Nigerian traders already start to talk about what the NFP means. And because they have a large following, I was a little bit pissed last weekend. I'm like, when did you guys start looking at this or start talking about this? But we're all in this space to learn, and we're all going to learn. So as we learn, especially in this particular period, many people have started to understand, and you should also, that there's a whole lot that fundamental analysis does to price. And I'm talking about understanding exactly what the economic data means, right? And we're just going to look at that because it's going to influence some of the things we're going to talk about, right? What directional buyer should you be thinking about? But I would first show you something. So going into last week, let's start with gold. Going into last week, maybe we should use this gold. Going into the end of last week ended on Thursday, right? I hope you know. Ended on Thursday. Friday, there was a bank holiday. Well, nobody even allow you to take a trade. So if you try taking a trade, it wouldn't even work. And I'm glad about that, because that would have been another day where so many people lose money, even though they know that price is not going to move. Like a day like today, where you know that GU bank holiday, EU bank holiday, or pound bank holiday, euro bank holiday, all of these things have bank holiday. Yes, they might see a little bit of movement. Why are you expecting it to continue to the end of the day? No, I don't like to do anything on days like that, right? Because the volatility is skewed and it's going to be held on to tomorrow. Whatever you see today, I don't even trust. We are going to get to that. But let's look at this, right? I was having a trade on Thursday, very pretty trade, early Thursday morning. Good. We had a 1 to 5 Thursday morning. But as I was explaining this trade, I wish I could take you back into the Discord. As I was explaining this trade, I talked about how and why the best entry point, right, for this particular move in here is here, right above this OB here. And I've talked about this a lot, right? You would find many times where you're looking at Asia's high, Asia's low. And price, oh, jeez.
I don't say I'm fucking to like the joke, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll be that.
Muting
Comfort yourself.
I'm muting everybody. Okay, I think everybody's muted now because it can just really get distracting. But again, let's continue. So as I said, there is, we talked about the idea of Asia's low, Asia's high, Asia's low, Asia's high. But there is this that is very repeatable. I wish I could move back to show you again, but look at this, right? Where the moment price opens on the day, what we see is an expansion lower, right? And if you have just had the baseline understanding of Asia's low, Asia's high, all you want to do here is want to buy and want to wait for price to get all the way here, right? But it doesn't happen like that, especially in this way. Yes, you need to blend in higher time frame analysis, but for this, right inside of London session is when the play happens. So when I was talking about it on Discord, I said the time is right. And the time I'm looking for this particular play is 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. EST. Right? And there are trades that you will have like that. It's what you name as your A plus setup. You know the time is going to happen. You know how exactly it's going to happen. So for this particular play, if we're right here at 9 a.m. our time or 8 a.m. our time, I would have taken it as my A plus setup, 3-4%. Right? But where it was the right time, but not the right place. So I said something, right? I will take a stab at this, but I will do something. And this is what I want you to understand about this. It's very important. Every time you are going to take a trade that has a bit of your plan, a bit of your system, a bit of things that you understand, but not fully everything, because every trade will not be like that. Every trade will not be like that. The moment you have that on, this is what you call your C minus setup or your B plus setup. And that means something. It means that lower expectations, one, and two, lower leverage. So I will get into this trade, right? Because yes, I can see a fair value gap. It's not the one I want. It's not premium, but it's a fair value gap. It's quietly, it's frankly a premium level. It's at the right time. Can I find my entry model? And that's the last thing. So it's at the right time. Can I find my entry model right here, which, happened on the 1 minute. Again, if you can go back into the Discord, you would see the entry exactly. I sent this live, right? So I was able to get that. Now, lower expectation, importantly, if I was getting in here, like you see this particular trade in here, the stop loss was down here because that is price has returned back into that premium level I want to see, so it can continue lower because I want to see this continue low. I want to see bearish price action happen from this range that's happened here. But because this is not this, lower expectations. So I'm looking for internal range liquidities, not long-term lows. In fact, this trade was happening on the 1 minute. The entry was on the 1 minute. And what I see many people do is they take a trade on the 1 minute and they are using, or 5 minutes, and they are using a 4-hour target. They're using a 4-hour old low, old high for a 1 minute entry. How? It won't work like that. If you're going to have the entry on the 4-hour, yes, it's good to have a 4-hour exit. But if you're having the entry on the 1 minute, on the 5 minute, on the 15 minutes, then their exit should also happen on the 15 minutes. Now, this doesn't mean that you should close all of your trade when it gets to your exit points. If you have, forward-looking bias, or, you have the idea that, oh, this could still continue going higher or lower, then you can have a runner after price gets to your trade objective. You should always have two things when you're trading. Drawn liquidity is different from trade objective. I'm talking about this because I was excited about this trade. Right as soon as I was out, boom, price returns all the way back and gets into my buy limit. And you see me send the screenshots early this morning, after price opened, where we saw this. It's because I've seen this so many times for it not to fall here. I was still talking to one of my guys on Saturday, and I'm like, yes, the gold is actually bullish, or if we don't want to lie, we are seeing bullish price action happen on gold, but I still want to see this play out, right? And as soon as this dropped, I was able to pick something, and now return back here. I'm still holding it. I'm still seeing what happens because my stops are not still taken. I'm just really holding this because I still think it's going to go lower. But let's forget this. I wanted to explain this very quickly before we go into the news release. All right. So again, the question for this week is going to be, what do I want to be doing? How do I want to be engaging price? Right. And the first thing, we have three things to look at: fundamentals, technicals, and market tone, which is sentiment, right? What is being screamed about? What is being screamed about? But the first thing I want us to look at is we have something ongoing. And a very simple thing to do is updates on US-Iran war. That's the first thing to do. especially in times like this. You need to do it. 2 hours ago, what is happening on the 38th day of Israel attacks? Tehran rejects Trump Hormuz deadline. 2 killed in Hafia. Iran says intelligence chief killed by US. Israeli strikes as Trump threatens the hell, blah, blah, blah. Iran live updates. Israel and Iran trade attacks after. If you can see what I'm seeing here, does this look like there is peace already, or there's even anything that suggests that? Obviously, no. Right? Nothing here is saying, oh, we're coming to a pause. This is 2 hours ago. This is 14 minutes ago. This is 37 minutes ago. None of this news release is saying there's a de-escalation. In fact, things are escalating. Trump and Iran trade threats over Strait of Hormuz, right? This is the big guy in here that is causing the oil supply. And because of the demand, we're seeing oil rise. So if we can come here and see that, oh, in terms of the war, we've not really seen any peace. We've not seen, oh, okay, we're accepting. Last week or last weekend, we heard that Trump is still going to extend the war for about 2-3 weeks. He said it himself that this is still going to last for another 2-3 weeks. And you saw how the markets reacted. That was it Wednesday night? Wednesday 2 a.m. night, you see gold drop, you see USD CAD rise, you see USD JPY rise based off of that news release. So we can see that the escalation is still in. So if the escalation is still in, we still have things the way they've been all year. Do you get that story? We still have things the way, but we need to still check other things, right? This is market tone. This is what market is saying, right? This is what we have as fundamentals. We're looking at geopolitics. Then we come inside of the calendar to see what has been happening. This is not. Let's go into where we are to date or last week, because you need to know what happened last week. Maximum allowed coming. Let me see. March 7. You need to know what happened in the calendar last week. I hope I've not passed it. This is July. May 10, March 8. Why is it so long? All right, March 19. And last week we had, so this was last week. Last week we had very, very, very important news releases for the dollar. You want to be able to check the dollar news releases to understand what is happening with the dollar. A stronger economy with the dollar is being denoted by these news releases that we have here, right? And we have 3 major things to look at. We have economic bias, we have inflation data, and we have what? What's the last one? Economic data, inflation bias, and we have what? Jobs market, right? Jobs market. So we have ADP, non-farm employment change. This is your jobs market. This is how many jobs are being added to the US. We have 62K jobs. For jobs market, we have 3-4 types of jobs markets. We have non-farm payroll, this ADP. Then we have the actual non-farm payroll, right? Which is the one we really pay attention to. But we have more. Unemployment rate. What's the rate of unemployment? We have less than expected numbers, good. So let's just look at the numbers, right? Here, Forex Factory already helps you think about it good. The green color in here helps you know that, oh, things are looking good. 178K jobs, the market or the economists were expecting 65K jobs. So we have more job numbers than expected. Good for an economy. If we're having more jobs in an economy, or we're having more jobs provided in an economy, it's telling you that, oh, there's something working here. The unemployment rate is lower, meaning that less people are being unemployed, which makes sense. Unemployment claims, less people are claiming unemployment, right? Makes sense. I'm going somewhere. ISM manufacturing prices, the guys that are manufacturing things in the US, they're also claiming good numbers. PMI numbers, right? Production or manufacturing index also calling out good numbers. Retail sales, your Walmart, all of these stores inside of here, they are saying, oh, we are still reporting good numbers. Core retail sales, good numbers. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing that everything still looks good. Everything still looks good in terms of the dollar. The dollar is bullish. I want to show you when this happened again. I want to show you where this happened. Like I said, to understand what is right now, you need to understand what has been. You need to know what has happened before, right? And I want to take you to February. February was when we started to see, February 11 was when we started to see DXY actually rise. This is going to help you because it's not just for today. You'll be able to look at, you'll be able to think about, how to actually look at this information, and it helps you. It's not anything hard. Let's look at February 11. February 11 was when we had this very surprising jobs data, or your NFP. Like what we had 178K when the market was expecting 66K. This particular one that just happened. For this, we had 130K when the market was expecting what? 66K. Now, let's look at it. Unemployment rate, just like what we have this particular month, we have lower than expected unemployment rate. If we keep going and just look for the dollar, right? Let's just look for the dollar. We would see we had unemployment claims lower than expected, good for the dollar. Unemployment rate, okay, that's for AUD. USD, this is PMI, right? Better than expected. I'm looking for the dollar. Okay, we had flash PMI bad. We had flash services PMI bad. We had new home sales. This is very good, right? If mortgage rates are doing good, then we have a better economy, right? People are spending. People can rent homes because it's okay to rent homes, right? New home sales, good. What am I showing you in here? If we go back to the charts and look at this particular time, if we go back and look at the dollar, right? February 11, what happened based on these job numbers? And it's very interesting, right? What happened based on these job numbers? This is February 11. February 11 up until now, what have we seen? We've seen continuous buy side. Aligned with the fact that there's been escalation in the Middle East. So the story has been, we've seen good numbers come out of the dollar, right, or of the US, and that has kept, or the dollar has held strong in this time against even all of the other safe haven. Gold has been struggling, JPY has been struggling, CHF has been struggling. All of the safe haven assets have been struggling, but the dollar has held strong. What do you think will happen to investors that have their money in the dollar? Are they willing to remove that now? If you're an investor in the dollar, will you do that? Obviously not. Right? Because if everything is still good with the dollar, why need to remove your money? In fact, the Feds have brought out numbers that it's possible that they don't have rate cuts this year until 2027. Meanwhile, we got into this year with the idea that it's very possible that we have 2 rate cuts inside of the year 2026. But now, because of this escalation that's happened, because what you don't know about the escalation is, if it stops today, yes, the market will react. But even when that happens, I'm not going to rush into looking to sell the dollar, because infrastructures have been destroyed and those things will take time to get fixed, right? Things would take time to get to piece together. So it's not like you just rush and say, oh, okay, maybe because Trump said something now. If you go back and look at last 2 weeks, you'd see many times where Trump talked about, some type of resolution happening. It was just a spike in the market and we reversed it. But now there's something you need to know with this, right? The fact that we have good numbers coming, right? The fact that we have NFP coming, let's say NFP came in here with good jobs. That doesn't mean that you come in and just buy the dollar. No. That's why you have fundamental analysis there. You come to technical analysis to say, we had good jobs out of the dollar just took out an old high. This is what I would do as a trader. I would wait for sell side. This is what I want you to do with NFP. Go and check this particular NFP that happened on Wednesday. The way it happened is right at the news release, we had a spike. After that spike, price returned back, consolidated before it started to move. So price showed exactly that, good numbers came in right at the news release, but did not just keep following through, right? Because some people will look at that numbers and say, you know what, I'm going to sell into it because, it's just fake. I would sell blah. Now the market goes lower for a little while and then starts to expand. What happened as we came into Monday? Because Friday wasn't open. Remember, Friday was the NFP, but we didn't have those numbers coming. So Sunday opening did what? We had the spike Sunday opening, right? We had the spike that was supposed to happen for Friday. We have that happen on Sunday opening. So we have price expand right at the spike. right? Now, this is that spike that's supposed to happen on Friday, as you know. As the NFP, because the NFP, the jobs number was better than expected. So you see this spike. That's why you see gold. So I was ready for gold to fall based on this news release. I was ready for gold to fall. All of the other asset classes would fall. But would there be a follow through? That's what I'm waiting for. Right. And now let's just go back, because I want you to just get this part of it. Is very important that the jobs or the numbers are good with any particular currency that you are watching, right? Doesn't mean you just go right inside of the charts and say, you know what, I'm going to buy because the numbers are good. It still needs to align with, oh, the numbers are good. Where are we resting? Just like here, right? The numbers came in good and we had a spike into a bearish OB in the premium part of the last range formed. So do I want to be buying right here? Well, for me, I would not do that. I want to see the markets come back into some type of accumulation, some type of discount, and then I want to be buying that. And this is where you're thinking properly with the market. Because remember, so many people have an idea. Like I said, there's been a rise in the understanding of geopolitics fundamentals right now. And that's why we can see a single news release cause a spike. Everybody loses their money. The market comes back to normal because everybody is now aware of the information. And Iran has already started to talk about, I think I sent a tweet of one of Iran's leaders talking about this, saying that, you know, if you're a trader, when the market just, when this guy just talks about anything, just sell the move because it's all a lie. I also talked about, you know, one of the, I think XPX, some traders actually were using maybe $10 million or $20 million to make over $100 million. And it was viewed as insider trading because 20 minutes before the news release was when they put in their orders. It's called informational edge. If you are very close to the president of the US, you obviously hear conversations before they become tweets. And those conversations, you know that, oh, when they finally come out, and just think about it, you're a trader, your brother is a trader, or your uncle is a trader, you can give him that information, he makes money off of it. That's the edge some people have. But let's not diverse, right? What I'm trying to help you understand is you want to be very strategic with what you see. The job numbers happened, right? We're 11th, right? But until 16th, we didn't start to see that follow through of those numbers. In fact, you might have thought about this as, oh, return back into fair value gap, running back lower. Oh, maybe it was just a fade. But the numbers don't lie. Especially in this time, you want to really, really consider it. And that's the first thing that you want to do when it comes to the DXY. The second thing you want to check, especially if you are expecting a de-escalation or you're expecting peace. We are all expecting peace, but you know what I'm saying? I'm talking in trader times now. Especially if you're expecting things to calm down, this is the guy you need to watch. Oil. And if you remembered when that news release came, the tweets from Trump saying that, oh, we've resolved with Iran, and Iran now replied back. I did a video on that. If you don't watch that, we'll go and watch it on YouTube. It will help you, right? And Iran is like, we did not have any negotiations. We already said that we would not even talk to this guy at all. And this spike happened. I remember I told you, I said, don't just trust this spike off of the whim. I think somebody was talking to me about US oil sales at that particular point. I'm like, don't just trust this on a whim. Because both parties have to come together to say, you know what? We're ready to drop this thing. And this guy would fall. The market will react off of that. But as far as we see this guy elevated, it's just been rallying. Look at that. It's just been rallying. And until we start to see some type of break, we are still in that. So if we're having this, what is making you already think dollar sells? When I started to think like these things changed, the market doesn't just change direction every single week. Sometimes it's just, you remember we talked about this on Monday. This was Monday here. Price was up here on Monday. And I said, we can't be buying up here because we're just in premium. It's just simple. Every time price takes out an old high, we're in a short-term premium. Just have it at the back of your mind. Expect some type of reversal. Just think about it. Every time we've taken out an old high, expect some type of reversal. Because in here is where we have the buying influence of sales. I know I say this every single time, but it just has to sink down inside of you because it's exactly how the market moves. But in the moment, and you agree with me, in the moment, this looks like maybe they are still going to have 4 more candles printed up. But you have to wait. If you look at GU last week, we're getting into what we want to expect this week. But if you look at GU last week, do you remember me talking about this fair value gap? And somebody's asking me, what do you do here? I'm like, I can't do anything until I see some type of return. What did GU do? Fell back on Monday, right? Tuesday ran higher. Wednesday runs higher. Do you know what is happening inside of here? Everyone that had hope here, or everyone that started to sell here, this move will be discouraging. It would put pressure on their sales, or blow their accounts, or take their money. So somewhere around here, they will change the bias again. Especially day traders, you're always looking for something to do. So on Monday, you're trying to buy, it took you out, right? Now on Tuesday, you're like, okay, price is already selling, let me sell. It took you out for buys. On Wednesday, you're like, maybe it's just coming to this fair value gap. It took you out again. And you come on Thursday, you're like, you know what? I'm going to join these sales as it returns back into discount. Boom, takes you out. You're like, are they chasing me? Like, what's really happening? Am I being chased? And that's the idea of waiting as a trader, where you're like, it's down here, I will wait for inside. If it gets into the fair value gap, and that's where you start your sales, very quickly you will be aligned with price. But if you start your sales from discount, when it gets here, you would have been convinced that is now buys. Because just looking back, if you go into the 4 hour, if you go into the 1 hour, you'll be able to trace some type of bullish market structure already playing out. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying here? Should not look like I'm talking to myself. Let me see in the comment section if you get what I'm saying. This move inside of here, just right here, Tuesday going into Thursday, right, would have given you that you know, that idea of where am I? That's far. All right. Exactly. Here. This would have given you a type of, you know what? This is already bullish. Let me buy this bullish order block. I can imagine how many people were trying to buy this particular bullish order block. And boom, slashed. Comes back again, it's like, oh, now it's going, boom, slashed again. Right? So you can really just save yourself from all of this happening if you can just wait a little bit. And your waiting is not just, you know, folding your hands and doing nothing. It is, where are we currently? Discount. Where are we going to be selling? Not here. Oh, price starts to return back into the range. Yeah, we can look for something. There's inversion fair value gap inside of here. There's breaker inside of here. There's OB inside of here. Oh, so maybe this part looks good. Let me see how they react here. And then I engage price. Right? Same thing with EU. And if I'm just being very straight with you, just like from what I've said, I am still bearish. I'm still bearish on the currencies until something happens. I don't know who wait. Let me. I'll come back to this, but I want to show you something that makes sense, right? We talked about US2Y, the two-year yield last week? Yeah, last week. And I was showing you something about this. I said, yes, you know, we're seeing a little bit of drawback down here, but it's not yet confirmed until we start to break market structure. Look at what happened. Return back into discount, bullish. You will buy this on any of your peers as a bullish order block and put your stop loss here. So why don't you think this can happen? The problem is when you think about fundamentals, you think that, oh, because the numbers are good, it should just keep going higher. It's also price. The algorithm will filter in these manipulations. In fact, that's exactly what makes the majority lose. The fact that what is going to be bullish for 6 months will have 1 week, 2 weeks of bearishness that will change people's idea of this. And when this happens, they miss it. So look at what happened again. We had this spike, but we're back down here. But are we breaking market structure? Not yet. We're just back down here. So if you can really just hold it to yourself to say, you know what? I'm only going to start to change my bias when directional bias on the higher time frame changes. See, when you have that idea, even though you do counter trends, you do it with some type of sense. You do, and when I talk about counter trends, I just talked about it, you know, very quickly. Counter trends are like your C- trades, are like your trades that you don't have all of the conviction in the world for. And they have to have 2 things: low leverage, reduced expectations. I'm going to go in very small, and I'm going to also go in with my expectations being reduced. Where I want to see all of the lows and highs, being taken out, I'm going to go look for, some type of hanging fruit. I'll get that and I'll just sit. All right. So if you look at this, everything still looks good. If the US yield keep pressing higher, that gives you an indication that the bonds are going lower. Right? The bonds are directly correlated to the currencies. If the bonds are going lower, right, the currencies will be doing what? Going lower. Look at the bonds. We talk about the bonds here. Why would I want to start to look for bullishness already here if we have not taken out this high? Why? This is the last range or the last breaking market structure formed. We have just returned back into premium, bearish OB. This is signaling sales, at least for now, until something changes. If this is signaling sales, why do you want to already start to buy EU? Why are you buying EU? Because you saw this blip of bullishness. So is exactly what has been happening. Look at this. We have high, we have low. I know it's messy. Let me take it out. We have high, low, breaking market structure, right? Consecutive candles that close below an old low. We rallied like he was going to take out this high, but it has not, for you to then decide we are bullish. So you got all the way up here, put in every amateur that feels like, oh yeah, it's bullish, then rise them down. The reason why I know that this is engineered is, look at how these moves happen. This particular move that happened, it doesn't happen in a sluggish manner. It happens very quickly, and that's what happens when the institutions step in. When we know that a whole lot of people are piled in, this happens. When that manipulation is already piled in, you see an expansion follow, because these guys are already, entwined. In fact, think about the guys that will be somewhere down here. All of this will still be looking like a retracement until you tax them out. But what you want to do is, what is the direction? We are still putting in lower highs. So what is my directional bias, guys? Bearish. Bearish still. Have we taken out this high? No. When we start to take out this high here, then I'm like, okay, we landed or we took out sell side liquidity and we had it. Let me tell you something that will change it. That will change your trading. Every time you think a low has formed, wait for a displacement in that direction. It will change everything that you think about. Oh, I think this is the low. I think we are now bullish. The next thing you should wait for is a breaking market structure. And you do it by time frames. Because what many people do is, we do it also, right? Because it's kind of like prices in fractals and you have to go down the lower time frames to go and think about things. But this is higher time frame is for buyers. So it's like, for buyer's sake, on this time frame, if I think, oh, we've taken out this low and this would mean reversal, I should see a breaking market structure. Guys, show me, where is the breaking market structure here? None. There's no breaking market structure. There's no expansion above an old high that's closed. So we're still bearish. Right? So that's what I want to be thinking about. That's what I want us to think about, right? That price keeps going lower here, doesn't just scare you out, and you need to learn from here. Look at this. We came inside of fair value gap here, expanded higher like it was ready to go. Came down again, started to expand like it was ready to go. Came down one more time. Is what you call 3 Indian patterns before it then expanded. So should I be scared if price starts to run all the way? No, I'm not. What I'm waiting for is, oh, when we come down here, are we now aggressively breaking out this low? Then I'm going to hands up and say, you know what? I think we're bullish. Because this is the last range formed. High, low, high, discount. We're still inside of that. In fact, for all you care, it could consolidate here. I hope you guys are getting something today. I really hope so. So that is DXY. Right, but there's something we need to check out for, right? We need to check this guy called gold, because it's not looking bearish, especially on lower time frames. It's not giving that bearish idea. Even though I've been able to take pics from it, it's still very, very sketchy in my view. Very, very sketchy, right? Why? It's because if you look at this, we had run down into some type of discount level. You can call this another block, right? And we've just seen price put up higher highs, right? Now, this point that we are is kind of like my last point of, I'm still looking at it here, right? I want to see that. I think I showed my guys going into, oh, now. Though all of that is back testing, and I'm looking at it because I'm doing different tests on different time frames, so I've not been able to clean it out. I think I have another gold. Okay, I think I have another gold. Yeah. So we have this fair value gap, right? And the reason why I like this fair value gap is it's linked with a breaker. Down close candle, run above an old high and break. All right. So I like that particular one. So as we're going inside of there on Wednesday, it was really good for me to sell early Thursday morning. I caught a play early Thursday morning when that news from Trump was coming in. And he was saying, you know what, 2-3 weeks we are still running. So if you look at it, Trump was saying 2-3 weeks we are still going to have, you know, issues happen, and price was already at a premium level. Do you get the idea? So it's not like it's one way. Oh, because they are saying it, I need to wait. No, they can be saying it right now, and your asset class is right at where you want it to be. They can be talking about, oh, what makes this? Because if there's still escalation, it means that DXY is still the safe haven. It means that this guy risk assets will suffer. All right. So, and these guys are premium. What are we going to see? It runs down into discount. But this is what I want you to look at. If you look at gold, we've seen this. It scares me, right? But we need to talk about it. We've seen this expand after it takes out that low, expand, breaking market structure, discounts, OBs, down close candles are sending price higher. Down close candles sending price higher. We're seeing breaking market structure return back into discounts, breaking market structure return back into discounts, breaking market structure return back into discounts. This one was scary, right? And it still is, because I got my trade inside of here because I still want to see sell side. And it's like, okay, if we're going to see sell side, that's a fair value gap. That's some type of an OB that becomes a breaker or mitigation blocking, I want to call it. So we can see sells from there, right? But this is a 4-hour OB in which, as price is expanding, we're seeing price put up higher lows, right? There's something I want you to understand. When an OB is going to fail, right, the fair value gap that price first meets sends it lower. So when I saw this happen, right, what would have made my conviction for sell side the more would have been a push that closes below this low. You know, that would make more sense. I'm not saying that cannot happen, but I really feel that this thing can still go higher. I'm just telling you pure thoughts, right? I really feel that this thing can still go higher, right? I've deleveraged whatever I have in this position. This was already good. I went in a bit heavy, right? So I was able to take something here. But I really feel that at least, like, we can get here. We can really get up here. And I'm waiting for tomorrow. I'm not doing anything today. I want to wait for tomorrow. We can really get up inside of this OB here. This up close candle inside of here, that if we're still bearish, that will still be a point. Especially, you know, if we're expecting the DXY to do a little bit of discounts, a little bit of run lower. We don't know how big that's going to be. All right. So I want you to think about gold carefully and not just rush into selling this. I was looking at COT data, and the institutions are heavily buying gold right now. One reason would be that it's actually cheap. It's actually cheap compared to what it has done all year. And the way the institutions buy, they buy doesn't mean that price can still go lower. At some point, all of these things that we're talking about will clear out, and gold will start to catch a bid again. The stock market will start to catch a bid again. In fact, very good jobs data is good for your stock market. So you see them just rallying here. I don't want to talk too much about this because you just confuse all of the things that we're saying now. But guys, that's how I want you to think about this week. And you know, we can start to have some discussion. Another thing that I'm looking at and I'm seeing is, well, for this, honestly, let me just see what I have about this. Right. For NAS, I feel like until we start to close above this high, we are still bullish. Until we start to close above this high, we're still bullish inside of here, right? Broke market structure inside of here. This is a very good mitigation block that we're resting in. So we'll start to see what happens here, right? If there's still pressure on the stock market, you know that things are still very bad, right? But I think this can still go higher because we had jobs markets. But I don't want us to talk so much of this. I'm not looking at this. What setups am I looking for this week before we, really just talk generally? GBP NZD, I haven't stopped looking at this pair, and the reason is the New Zealand dollar is very weak. And there's an easy way to trade crosses, right? Is it an easy way? Yes, it's an easy way, right? If you can understand the fundamentals and the strength and weaknesses of these currencies, you can really do things with them. If we go to New Zealand dollar in here, and I'll show you my guys last week, right? If we go into New Zealand dollar in here, you'd see this pair is falling to the ground. In fact, I pointed this out as a very, very nice level to sell, which the market sold from. And I don't think it's over. I think we're coming for this head. Who remembers head and shoulders? Inverse head and shoulders, market maker traps. Yeah. So I'm expecting that price returns back here. If this is going to be weak and compared to pound dollar, now there's something called relative strength. This is when
I
you're
have an
looking at.
observation.
You have an observation.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me hear.
Wouldn't you consider bullishness on this pair since we're in a discount of a bullish range?
Oh,
Given that we're in a season.
very, very nice question. And when it comes to discount for me, it's like, how deep do I want it to go? Right? So you can
Weekly time frame here, we're in a daily, sorry, we're in a weekly bullish order block.
I agree with you. I agree with you
So
that
even though we might not see a move to the high, the at least back into
type
the
of move.
premium part of that bullish. Yeah.
Yo, okay. So I think I get what you're saying, and it makes sense, right? Where discount, I can start to think about buy side already. I can start to think about buy side. But if I am just looking based off of that, I would still be just viewing it just as an amateur, right? If I want to see strength with the dollar, then everything paired against the dollar is going to crash, right? So the way I'm looking at it is, even though we can see buy side because we're in discounts, I'm looking for those buys like this one. Let me show you the example I'm looking at. You see how clean this was? That's how clean this was too. Bullish OB expansion to the upside. This is a bullish OB. Look at what price does. Expands. I told you something earlier. When price is going to fail from a valid bullish OB, a fair value gap will be there to send it down. So as I am looking at this, I am really, really interested in how this rallies up a little bit, and then there's another fall with it, because I'm thinking of buy side or because I'm thinking of sell side. I'm looking at how we can return back into this inversion fair value gap, where that OB, okay, I already have the marked out. That's exactly the point I'm looking at. So it's not like I want to really start to sell it now. It's bearish. That's how I'm thinking about it, that this is bearish if everything that happens is still happening. Why do I think it's bearish? Right? We've seen price put up a lower high here, and we're seeing it take out a lower low. Until that changes, I'm bearish. This OB is good here, right? But it's still a big OB. We can see the midpoints. We can see the low of the OB before price to rally higher. But that would just be only one factor. If I'm thinking about price technically, then that's how I'll be thinking about it. Oh yeah, we're bullish here. Now, yeah, you can catch one or two plays, because this is again another idea to think about. That when price gets to your higher time frame level, there's a trade idea. Because your higher time frame level would send price in the direction in such a way that as a day trader, you would find something if you're very accurate with price. Or sometimes just are trades I take. What am I saying? As price got into this OB inside of here on, is it Monday? Monday, you'd have, if you bought NZD USD, you'll be in profits. It'll be a good day for you. Just like here, as price was coming inside of here yesterday, Sunday, if you bought this, you'll be in profits. Like right now, you'll be having fun because you're buying from a higher time frame level. But the thing is, how long? What is the long term? What is the bias? And that's why we can't just focus. And if you're still on that camp where you're like, I'm just thinking about technical analysis, please. The times that we are in now, you can't depend on that alone. And I'm sure you've seen it. You've seen other blocks fail. You've seen whatever fail. Because that's not all that the market is dependent on. So the way I'm looking at price, and it's because everything in price is contingent on one thing. If the USD is going to keep going higher, there will be pressure on this pair. There will be pressure on GBP USD. There will be pressure on Euro USD. If the DXY starts to break, this will change story. You know what I like? If this is going to change story, I'm happy to join it somewhere here. Imagine that if we take out this bullish OB, I'm happy to start to buy to take out this high, this high, this high. But if you look at the bearish market structure, is in place. We are seeing lower highs, just price rallied all the way. You remember that I had a trade inside of here, and I was looking at here as my final draw, right? 301 pips. I had the 0.1 that got taken out at break even here. And it was because I wanted to see, are we now bullish? Are we now taking out old highs after we put up a lower high? Or a higher low, sorry. So we had high or low, higher low. Now, if we had higher high here, that would be bullish market structure. But see what price does. Rallies all the way up here, but fails to take out this high here. And then taking out old lows. That's bearish market structure. So what am I looking for? Push up here, sells. And it just brings a new directive. So yes, I'm watching that. Oh, this is good. But follow through is what I want to see. And that's what I've said before. If we think this is a bullish order block, what do we need to see? Run, close above this high, right? Run, close, and continue going higher like that. That's what we want to see. Right? But for right now, you know what my range is? High, low, anything inside of here, discount. Or sorry, premium. So I would like things like this. I would like anything above this high as equal highs. I would like this fair value gap properly, right? I would like this OB here, right? I would like things like that. This is a good trade. This is a very good trade. And you might probably be able to tell why. And this is where market tone comes in. Market tone is not just what people are shouting about. It's you already looking at price and it's like, my newbie self would just be buying this without thinking. Would just be buying this and be enjoying the profits and then see one slash and it's like, why did that happen? Just like here. It's just like here. Bullish OB here, right? And rallies. And the way he rallies also gives you some type of, let's not talk about that. That's deep stuff. That's deep stuff. You should pay for private mentorship for that. All right, but you get what I'm saying. So if NZD is going to be bearish, right? GBP NZD, I'm looking for buy side. I've been having a trio on this pair, and I think I told you guys really why, right? The technical analysis look good, right? Pound compared to NZD, pound is still way much stronger than the NZD. Just go and look at your calendar and look for NZD and look at the type of numbers we've been getting and compare that with pound, right? You can also do this research. Your ChatGPT is now working like a machine. The free version does everything you need to do. You can ask these questions, right? So what I've been doing, I've been trying to buy, or I've been buying discounts in this particular pair because NZD is very bearish. Fundamentally, technically, very bearish. I don't know what these wicks are because they are not appearing on my own trading view, right? This one. I saw this one. When I saw this one, I was so scared. I'm like, what happened? Even this one. But it's not on my trading view. It's probably FP markets doing that. Anybody using that broker will just be suffering because just imagine you stacked up trades like this and boom, happens on you. All right. But what have I been doing? I've just been buying bullish order blocks here. Now, it looks very weird because where next to buy? If I don't know where to buy in terms of discounts, I wait for price to already put down the discounts and then a break in market structure. So I'll be looking for follow through here. All right. Another asset class or asset classes that I don't trade that I think you should think about is the USD pairs, right? The USD pairs, especially, this asset class, USD JPY. One of the things you need to know about the Bank of Japan is the moment prices start to get to 160. Have you heard that before? I know I've said it before. The moment prices start to get back to 160, they put on regulations, or how do we say it? They sell back all of the orders on the table. Or they sell back all of the orders on the table every time it gets there. So it's a very psychological level in the chart. You see every time price gets very close to there, it goes down. Very close to there, it goes down. Very close to there, it goes down. So when it went down last week, Wednesday, just right before, Trump's talk or after Trump's talk, you'd see USD JPY rally higher. And I think there's still that rally still in place. Why? Why did Wi-Fi go off? Did that happen to you the other day? Back because I don't know. I was just out for a little bit.
bro, that's so bad.
Okay, yeah, I'm back. Okay, I don't know what happened. My Wi-Fi just tripped. Okay, so I think pairs that I'm really going to again be paying attention to. I was able to buy this. I loved this. And it's not anything serious. Honestly, one of the things I'm thinking about, and I've just been thinking about, is what are the other
Because I bought small money and I bought this
Jesus.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. And I think is also what you should think about, right? What are the other ways I can increase my patience? Because if you can do that, if you can have a calm mindset, have you noticed that your very good trades are days where you're calm, where you're not, I mean, some days you have good days and you know that God just saved me. God just saved me because with the rubbish I did, I should have blown this account. Then you make money. I advise every single time that when you make money like that, take it and use it to do something else that is not trading because the market's coming for you, especially immediately. Take it and just, you took $100 to $1,000 and it was over leveraged. Just take that 900 and you say, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to 200K clothes. I'm going to buy, this mouse. I'm going to, just buy something. I'm going to pay for these tools. I'm going to pay for this. I'm going to pay my gym sub for one. Just do something that you know that when you look back, you're like, that over leveraged money did something in my life because the market is coming. It's a psychological thing because the way it happens is the way you made that money, especially when you still have that money, there's belief that because I could take 100 to 1,000, I can take 1,000 to 10,000. I've seen it so many times. And I'm a mentor, so it hurts me the most when I hear things like, I've said this before, and some of you might have heard it. Like one of the guys I thought, right, we went on a 6-month streak. Went on a 6-month streak, and that was, I think, $1,500 for 6 months. Right. I was happy about the mentorship. I was ready. I'm always ready when people commit, to actually, learn and not, want to bypass and say, what's the other thing you do? I don't have money. I actually like when people commit and want to learn. I give my all to it. Right. And we went on a streak, right? And we always have a goal every time we go on the streak. The goal is many times get funded. And it got funded. It got funded in like month 5 or so, month 5 or month 6. Got funded, and in his first week of getting funded, he made $10,000. He went 5 lots on gold, and I think it was 100 pips. Is it $5,000 or 10,000? I think it's 5. I don't know, 5 or 10. I think it's $5,000. I think it's $5,000. Yeah, $5,000. And I'm like, first week. This was when your prop firms did not really have what's the name? What's the name of that thing? Bi-weekly that they do now. So it was just going to wait for 1 month. And I'm like, this is your first big payout. I think it's $10,000. This is your first big payout, and it is big. You know what? Close this account. Let's just, play demo. We play demo until we get this payout. Huge. You guys already know what happened, yeah? It's like it's clear. The next week, he was just silent. He didn't say anything to me. I had to buzz him on Friday. I'm like, what's good, brother? How is it going? I didn't see any reply. Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning, I saw a message. Bro, I lost the account. I was confused. You lost what? You lost what account? Like, how would you lose the account? Like, it was very, very... And sometimes, you want to get angry, but it's not your money. It's not... But it's just... You lost the account, okay? Not like you lost the money. The account is gone. The funded account, like there's no even funded account again. And it's like, it's just a psychological thing. The money that you made by over leveraging would push you to over leverage, right? The reason you do anything you do is because you believe that they work. So there's already a belief that is right in your hands. It's not like somebody's telling you. You already moved the $100 to $1,000. So you have the $1,000 in your hand. So it's not like you need a genie to tell you that you can move $1,000 to $10,000 because you just moved $100 to, but you know it's not sustainable. You know it's not, it cannot. And your brain will trick you to helping you, especially the markets, will let you see that this is an opportunity. Are you going to be a pussy right now? Are you not going to take that trade right now? Like, this is an opportunity. Just do something. Just do something. And you do it. And you regret. So, guys, right? If you make money like that, you know. But I was talking about UJ before I just jumped into. I don't know why I jumped into that, but I'm sure it's for somebody. I'm sure it's for somebody. When you make the insane amount of money, take a rest. Say, you know what? I've made money that I've not made in the last 1 month. You know what? It's okay if I don't trade for 2 days. Nothing will happen. In fact, the markets will move exactly how we move without you. Don't worry. You're not adding anything or removing anything from the market. Just do you. Right? And like I was saying, right? One of the things I'm trying to think about and build more as I move in my trading career, I hope you guys know that I have not gotten anywhere in my own trading journey. I have not gotten anywhere. I'm really just getting started. Right? And I'm working on things. Like, you should work on things every single time. Right? And sometimes it's not technical analysis. Many times it's not that. Right? I'm working on patience. And that patience is if you can just wait. Like I said, if you think a low has really formed, very good price action, right? Monday, run lower. Tuesday, run lower. Wednesday, we take out Asia's low, take out Tuesday's low, take out all the weekly low. This is what we call, I want to say Babanla discount, but that's exactly what it is. It's discount. All right. But when you find this, you need to wait for something important, a break in market structure. You might not like it here, it's here, but you might not understand it because you're seeing this. But this is a break in market structure. I'll show you on the one now. I don't trade this pair. But when I saw this, I'm like, no. I put in a point, I think a 0.1, and then I put in a 0.2 here. I'm like, no. This guy, this is just, and that's proof work. Like, you are testing exactly the things that you know will work. So look at this. All right. After I took out that low, is there any break that you can see? But look at this. Is this a break? Yes. A close above an old high. Boom. The down close candle before that run. It's your best bet. So if you think about how I'm thinking about this is a buy model that is still incomplete. It's still incomplete. I don't mind that it goes lower a little bit. All right. Well, I think I told you something now. I said when price is going to respect or disrespect an OB, the fair value gap that it meets on his way is going to be what catapults price. A simple way to understand that is every time price is trending, it uses fair value gaps. Every time price is trending, it uses fair value gaps. Uses fair value gaps. Uses fair value gaps. We get to OB, use fair value gap, rally. Right? When price is going to reverse, it uses old highs and old lows. This is information that you're supposed to pay me for. But don't worry, we did. I'm excited. All right. So, but yeah, I think this can still go higher. Right? And with any of this, I'm not, overly sold. Price has done me dirty to the extent that, I'm not overly sold that I'm like, oh, no. I'm not, I'm just like, oh, no. I'm not overly sold on the bias. I'm really just watching. And it's like, okay, this is what I'm thinking about. And that's what I'm sharing with you. I'm thinking about if I see something that aligns with that, it becomes a conviction. It becomes a confluence. I can trade with that. All right. Losses would happen. And the problem about losses is you don't know when they will happen. So you just actually have to do what you know works. Right. And if it's a loss, it's like, okay, it's one of those losses. But what I have as an understanding with price is that over a couple of trades, I'll come out on tops. And sometimes all you need is that belief. All you need is that belief. And the only way to get it is the thing that you think you know now, go back, make sure your trading view is paid, and go and delete 3 months or 2 months back. Delete 3 months, 2 months back, and just start to look. Print it. You know that trading view will give you the timer for your for the replay to reduce it. Do you know why people don't do this? When you reduce the time, it takes time. You have to wait like this and be looking at it like you are waiting for a trade. When it gets to London session, you look, oh, what happened now? You pause it and look, oh, did you take out sell side liquidity? Okay, I take now, oh, did you now break market structure? Okay, now it doesn't, okay, this is where I would have put my trade. You carry your measure to, you put it there, you wait, you watch. You do that Monday, you do that on the Tuesday, you do that for the last 3 months. Just do that. Just do that. 2 things will happen. You find out if what you have works. You know, the realization of that is very crumbling, but also very empowering, because when you get there, it's like, so why am I not making money? That's what you will now get to. It's not going to be, I don't know what to make money with. Right? And the thing is, you think that, you know, mentorship is to come and teach you something. Like the inner circle now, if you're in the, like, I think we have like 11 or 12 members. If we're inside of the inner circle and you think that, oh, I'm coming there to come and learn something new, I'm sorry. Yes, you're going to learn something new, but I don't even think whatever you're going to learn new is going to be what will make you profitable. No. If you're just learning anything, you're just learning accessories. You're going to be learning accessories. What you're going to have is accountability, a goal-oriented community, right? We're talking on Friday, a beautiful conversation, you know, beautiful conversation, talking about funding, talking about payouts. You don't hear those conversations anyway. You see the payouts, but are they telling you how they got it? Are they telling you the experience, what the payout was initially before they now remove the money that they removed? Are they telling you their experience? Do you know how many accounts they have? Do you know how they are dealing with it? No, you don't. So again, I'm sorry if you're not in the inner circle. I don't even know. I don't know what you're still doing. I don't know what you're saying. And maybe it's because I'm still interacting on the team chat, which is going to stop this week. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It has to stop this week. But try if you can, right? It's not anything, it's not pressure. Yeah. But if you can, you should be there. I would like to see everybody that's here there. Right. So USD JPY, I'm looking for buys. USD CHF also. I don't trade it. It's a mad pair. I saw it almost run my friend mad at some point. So I'm like, no. Never would I. Somebody say something about you. He said, please don't me. Yeah, no, I'm not even okay. I'm not even going to open it because of that. But yeah, GBP CHF, GBP NZD, those crosses are very good if you can find, you know, something. But you need to actually be at the point where you can engage crosses. You know, there's also a time for engaging or diversifying. If you have 1 million naira, why are you buying different types of stocks? Just buy MTN and sit down, or go and buy Better Glass or Presco and sit down, right? But if you have 5 million, you can say, you know what? I'm going to put some in Micure, in health stocks. I'm going to put some in Presco oil. I'm going to put some in, you know, banking jars. I'm giving you guys game. I'm going to buy those things round like that, right? I got some games last week, and I realized that Nigerian bonds, you know, sometimes I think that the mentality of the country is what is killing the country itself. Because there are information that can make you a whole lot of money than even what is outside. Your Nigerian bond gives 14 to 17% yearly, and they pay you dividends per quarter. That's 14 to 17%. That's more than what the average S&P gives you per year. Your Nigerian bonds. And they have to pay you because it's a legally binded document. When it comes to bonds, there are 2 types of bonds, right? Government bonds and what? And corporate bonds. Corporate bonds are bonds that can give you higher returns, but if the company dies, it dies. If Nvidia dies tomorrow, all the money inside of them, if they claim bankrupt, all of the money is gone, regardless of how much you have there. But when it's a government bond, it's legally binded and you get your money. It's just always, you know, like, you know, what's your dollar is giving you like 4 point something%. That's the interest rates that we're looking at every single time that we're saying yield is going up. That's what it is. That if you invest in the bond, you're getting 4.9% or 4.8% yearly. So people keep their money because, you know, yeah, I'm going to get paid. If you're a billionaire, you know, you're not thinking about making 5 billion. You're thinking about making 3%. When you start making good money, when you have a 100K account, are you thinking about making 10%? 1% is calm now. A month, you know, $1,000. At least a big boy in Nigeria. I'm serious. If you're not a lavish person, $1,000 is calm. It's not bad. If you do that 4 times a week or 4 times a month, that's $4,000. You live anywhere you want to live. Right. So USD card, I've talked about that. NAS, XPX, Bitcoin. I saw Bitcoin going higher. But again, you know, I don't trade this. I don't know why I talk about it too. I don't trade it. But with this guy, if he doesn't break this high, very, very skeptical. In fact, this is a good point to this is a good point to sell. So if it doesn't break this high, it's calm. I like OBs from fair value gaps. OGs know what I'm saying. OBs from fair value gap, pretty. If you have capital at home, please bring it. That's why it's good for this type of things. Where you can actually take the trade here and actually have a little bit of risk. Like good amount of risk. Good trade too, not just any trade. A trade that you can wait out and see it, you know, being drawn down for $1,000-$2,000. And then when it comes in, it's coming in fine. And the reason why you need capital is out of that capital, whatever risk you're taking must be one you can risk so that you can still trade. It's just how trading is, right? You can have a good play, but if you over leverage on it and you're looking at those losses, I think that's why I asked Benga this time. I'm like, tell me you're profitable on that trade. Because it's like, if it's going not in your favor, so many things happens there. It's everybody, it's me too. Like, I'm just seeing the trade not go in my favor, maybe very close to stop losses. Very, very annoying. I have literally carried my laptop, put it one side, and engaged in a prayer session for a NAS trade. Because it was like, if this trade doesn't work, I'm dead. I'm not going to eat. So I first carried the system and I said, God, like today, I'm not a technical, I'm a praying trader. Please. Please. And it went to my, I was happy. Trust me. I was grateful. I screamed. I'm like, yes. Yes, thank you. Because if it moved one pip, I think I've said this, at testimony in church, to tell you how serious it was. If it moved one pip against me, oh my God. If it moved one pip, it was just like one pip for them. You know, when their accounts, your margin call is already red, everything is already shouting. If you just moved one more pip, it would have just blown me out. I carried my lap and I put it aside and I started to pray. It wasn't jokes. But yeah, this guy giving a bullish reading, but I don't know. I still think it's bullish right now. But again, it's not bullish until major levels. And you know, sometimes where the issue many times is things that are just internal range liquidity, we start to already claim it as breaking market structure. So when price does that, it's like, oh shit, took me out again. But if you look at this guy, it's just been here for a long time. And it can do that. It's Bitcoin. It can just be here. It can just be bouncing around. So I don't think it's a good asset class to trade. But guys, let me know. I know I've talked a lot. I've talked for 1 hour, 13 minutes. Guys, what are you guys looking at? What are you guys thinking about? You can mute your mic. What are you thinking about? Like, what do you have? Or do you have anything to ask me? Do you have anything to say? Like, what have I said that you don't think that will work? So maybe I can have something as an invalidation for my trades. And for everybody here also. Monday is the day where you think about your trades properly. When you think about it not trading, it's like you have the calmness to say, okay, I can entertain some ideas, right? And I can go back and do my homework and say, oh no, that guy idea no strong. I hope you can strength test people's idea and say, no. You know, some people tell me about why they want to buy and what they want to sell. I'm like, nah, don't worry. It's calm. I like what you're saying, but nah, I'm not convinced. And some people will tell you your bias, and you'll be very, and that's why I would not, as I'm coming to come and teach you guys here, I can't go and watch my method. I can't go and carry Gene's content and say, let me go and no. I would not watch Gene. Maybe after I've done my own, if he has a review, I can go and say, oh, what's there? And look at it. But I've done my review. I already have my own plan for the week. Because if you don't do that, because you know that, oh, obviously, maybe they're making more money than you, they see better, they've been in the game longer than you might start taking their ideas as yours, and then you've lost your ability as a trader. Your ability as a trader is control. Control. Am I able to hold this down for myself, even when it goes bad? Can you go a bit into journaling and how you go into it? So for journaling, let me be honest with you guys. I have been slacking, right? The kind of journals I've done is I just scribble what I feel, because that's one part I am working on currently, how I feel during the trade, right? I want to get to a state of calm, that Zen state, every single time I'm trading. Because every single time you're not calm and you're, dancing, or you're maybe angry or you're anxious, or it's because you have done something you're not supposed to do. The heart palpitations will come in. The price has gotten into your stop loss range for a good trader. I think, yeah, that will happen. But you know what I mean? You're not like you can feel that. I hope I'm not preparing myself for some type of hypertension. That type of feeling, because you know that yeah, you risk 50% of your account, and that's your last money. You know how your heart feels. Everybody here has done it. We have all done it, right? You know what happens when that trade is in drawdown or almost hitting stop loss. You know how you feel. So that's type of journaling I've been doing now. But the best type of journaling to do, and one of the reasons why I think I can pass, even though I'm not, I already went to my Notion templates, and I set up the spreadsheet for April. Let me see. Can I see it here? Or I think it's Safari that would see it. I already went to my spreadsheet on can you guys see my screen now? Yeah. I already went to Safari. I went to pin my Notion. I've not pinned it all yet. Q2, we're journaling like mad, because Q2 wants to do some things. One of the things I want to do inside of the inner circle is we want to start to show broker statements. I'm a little bit somehow about that. I don't know how that feels. I'm just even saying it. I want to start showing that, and just again for motivational purposes, so that people can see that, oh yeah, I can actually do this. I can actually make money. I can actually get myself up, right? And so I have to journal, right? So this is end of the day, I have to do this, right? So when I'm putting this down, what I'm looking at is, what are the opportunities that happened in that day that I could have taken? Which ones did I take, right? That's this, right? I'm coming on the Notion, and I'm putting those things down. I'm looking at the trade idea. I told you about these trades, right? These ones I took, right? I have, okay, what am I looking at? Because if you don't do the end of the day review, the next day is not a good day. I'm telling you for fact. If you're a day trader and the day before you have not looked at what price did, you will miss that very clean order block. Your mind will just skip it, because you're all now looking for a trade. But if you do it the night before, you are doing it in the line of, okay, since this is what happened, have you noticed that price is a link? It happens today, then joins into tomorrow, then joins into next week, then joins into next month. So it's like, what happened yesterday that is going to follow through today? You get, it's bullish or bearish or consolidating. So if you're in that trending move, you need to know what happened yesterday, so you can start to think of, where is it likely to get to before I continue, or where am I looking to continue this? So that's this journal, right? It's a daily review. And what you want to write inside of this, right? I write this in my note. I like to write instead with what I want to say. 3 things. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? Where can I improve? Right? The beautiful thing about this is, you are sometimes not going to have anything that you did wrong. If you follow your system, you need to actually write, where did I do wrong? Nothing. It's a proud moment. It's a proud moment where you can write, where did I go wrong? I did not, even when you took a loss, that's even when it's interesting the most. You took a loss, but you can write, I did not do anything wrong. One of the things that happens with those trades is, you are not even bothered about that particular loss, because everything works well. Like, you risk 1% or you risk 0.5, you lost the trade, and you're just a trader, it happens. You already understand that it happens. You already accepted the loss before it even happened. So it's like, cool. So where did I do wrong? Nothing. What did I do right? Right? Write that down. The main purpose of a journal is that I can, at some points in my life, right, when I'm going through shit, I can go back. I did this last year, was really crazy for me. Last year, especially going into the ending of last year, was really crazy. I don't even like to think about it. But when I'm really going through crazy shit, I can say, you know what? Let me go into my journals, because this is the part people don't miss out on, or don't go back to. And I haven't even found maybe like a particular I think there's supposed to be a particular system on how you go back to review this, but honestly, I've not done that. Right. But when I'm going through hard sheets, I go and say, when I was really doing shit right, and you might not even know until you go and open it. When I was really doing shit right, what was I doing? So I go back to, this is 2023. I think we would see it here. 2023 or 2024. And I go back and say, okay, what was I doing here? How did those days play out? What was I writing? Yeah, I was very serious. I just started. So I don't know. It has not shown yet. Or can you guys see it? Because me, I have not seen it. If I've not seen it, how will you even see it? It's so long. See how it's loading. The meeting is being transcribed. Don't show this again. Okay. I don't know why it's loading this long. I just reloaded it. It's so slow. I would like to show you what this looks like. Okay. Aha. So this is me back testing. When was this? 2023. This is journal. Right. And you see that I was still writing. Well, this was when you do the work. You do the work here because you actually not just annotate your levels. I don't know why it's not coming up. Oh, but can you guys see it like this? Because I'm trying to open it up, but it's not. But you actually annotate your levels. You write, you took a buy side, you write buy side liquidity, purged, right? 4-hour proportion block. I didn't remember the last time I had that on. But beautiful delivery on price. Price run, this is review. That what price did on that day, you come back and write it again. That, buy side liquidity, aiming straight for sell side liquidity. Price staying at premium level of this range. Price staying at premium level of this range will favor more sell side. Closing above that CB will start to suggest bullish price action. So I have said what I would like to see for sell side. I've said also what will be an invalidation. If we go to the next day, we will see that it's a continuation of this. So when you do your journaling, there needs to come a time, right? And you don't need to even take losses. That's why I said I have not found a system. Maybe I'll work on that this week. A system on how you actually go back. You can say, okay, once a month, I would go back and see everything I have downloaded or I've journaled. Many people just journal and just leave it at journaling, but that's not where journaling ends. That's not where journaling ends. In fact, if you do your journaling properly, you will not need so much back testing because you can just go back and just see all it's the same thing now. In fact, your journaling, your journals have, a better, this is loading too slow. So let's go back to the charts. Your journaling has a better, what would I call it? Your journaling has a better, much more detailed, price action because you actually were engaged in that particular day and you put something about that particular day. If you want to mess up your journaling, I don't journal all these pairs. No, I don't. I only journal the one that is important that I'm trading, right? That would be gold. And because I was doing GBP NZD and maybe USD JPY once last week, I put them in journal, but they are not in my journals every day, right? Gold will be in my journals every day, whether I'm trading or not trading, right? I just go back and look at it because it helps me think about how I want to. Again, you might say, because I teach, but it's not because of that. It's just how it's supposed to be. The main work that you call work with this game is behind the scenes where you are getting data, where you are putting data. It's just getting data. Because the moment you put on that trade, it's the most boring thing ever. That's why every people that can do multiple trades at once, the likes of Mike Bory, what's his name? And all those very big traders where they are putting in playing thousands, millions at different points, there's capital to throw around. So you're just doing different things at once, right? That will just make it, a little bit more. Because when you put on the trade, you have to wait for it. There's so much that happens to a retail trader that is so psychologically not encouraging, but you have to deal with it. You have to pass through it somehow. So yeah, that's how I do journaling. It's the review and then weekends for sure. For sure, you must do your outlook in the weekends. What I'm showing you now is not something I started to think about this morning. No, I have done my outlook in the weekend. I've gone to watch fundamental data to understand where fundamentals are rising or what's happening on the fundamental grounds. I've now gone to do my own work on technicals to say, oh, where's price at? How am I thinking about it? What's going to be the invalidation of this trade? I have those things put down, right? And then I make a small mental note, which is beside me here. That I'm just, that's how I'm calling those pairs, right? That's just what I'm just looking at beside me to say, oh yeah, because that's what I'm going to open. It's just going to be on my desk like this as I'm doing whatever I'm doing in my trades, because I know, oh, this is the plan for the week. Because I realized at some point when I was doing shit that what I planned going into the week worked throughout the week. Why did I lose money? Why did I blow accounts? And it's because somewhere inside of the week, I decided to do something that I thought the market was showing me. And I named it flexibility. So journals help you a lot. You just have to take yourself back to, I'm in school again. I need to do it again. I need to do it again. I need to do it again. And you're able to, come out. Does anybody have any questions again? We've been here for a while. It's almost 1 hour, 30 minutes. I can be here as you know. I love these calls. I love, meeting you guys. I learn a whole lot from it also. So because I'm also, playing the information that I think I did in my quiet time, I'm playing it out in the open to see, did I really think about this popular? Is there a particular place you get? Oh, no, that one requires money. Payment. Payment first. Payment first. I think I was talking to one of my private mentorship students, and I'm like, oh, should I tell you this now? Should I tell you this now? I was like, why? Why not? But yeah. But like fundamentals is chill now. You can just use Forex Factory. Forex Factory gives you everything you want. Honest. Honestly. Do we have any other questions? Questions. You're dealing with something. You want to air out your sins. That one I started hearing it last week in the inner circle. I want to confess my sin. Confess your sin. Well, it's actually a good thing to do as a
You're owing me slides, though.
I'm on you slides. See, those slides are here. I told you that I've not even deleted them because even I am using them, and it's probably I'll just send you screenshots. It's probably that I'll just send you screenshots. They are here, but
Please send the screenshots. I'm begging you, please.
okay, I will send it. They are here. All right, this is everything. I think it's from when? January, yes, up until December, up until now. And it's just a confirmation that if you wait for breaking market structure, you thrive more than 90% of people in this industry. That's just what this is about.
That's exactly why I need to see it. Like, I just need you to send it, please.
Yeah, I'll send it out. I'll send it. And you've been asking me for a while now. I'm going to try out and just screenshot it. So that because I have to screenshot also in a way where you can see it. You have to screenshot it. And it's something you can do also. I don't know why you're stressing me, but I'll send it so that you just see what I was looking at and maybe have a better outlook on it. But it's something everybody should
Thank
do,
you.
right? If you're not doing anything today, which I don't think you should, just leave it. Let things play out. Then join someone. Have you noticed that the end of the week has always been where the juice is for the past how many weeks now? The end of the week, the first 2-3 days are always very crazy. And the problem with the first 2-3 days, or especially the first, if you lose 5% on Monday, it's always a bad week. I'm sorry, but it's just the fact, because you are not going into that week with any chance of making money. You are just going into the week to go and clear losses. At least first, you have to just get back to break even some way. So earlier in the week, it's always just, let things play out, then join. If you need to do anything, very low on percentages. If you get moves, get your partials out, get good on the day and start the week properly. Right. So yeah. Do you have any questions? 4 messages. Sins of a trader. Say that sins of sins of a trader. I was so surprised, Rahman. I was so muzzed. I'm like, huh? And they were just confessing the things that they were doing. I'm like, shit. Can I see what you're looking? GN. AZ is always up for the opportunity. GN, honestly, I really don't have an entry. I think I have just one lot that's dancing at the entry that I first took. That's all I have left. I'm not going to leave trades on like that. But I think what would be vital here is another break. Another break is what would make me look at an entry, an entry, an entry. Let me spy inside of here. Okay. Most of you are inside of the inner circle. I think Olatunji, I've not seen Olatunji yet. Well, Nathaniel, RK, Tipson, Ridwan, yeah. Collins, you two, I've not seen you. I've not seen you. Zoom. I don't know which Zoom user. Did you use Zoom user so I'm not able to call your name? You probably changed it. Oh, this guy won't call my name. Probably go change out. It's okay. All right, but guys, I think we had a field session. Did you have fun? I think I had fun. We can call it a day so we don't elongate this much longer. I wish you a profitable week. I pray we make bucks this week. And yeah, Jesus is king. Let's go, guys.